Today's February 4th, which means that March Madness and the NCAA tournament is very quickly on the horizon. It's coming very soon. And I think this year I'm going to be rooting for Michigan State basketball. Look, I'm not a fan. I don't have a favorite team, but I'm going to pick one this year, and it's all because of Cassius Winston. In November, his younger brother, Zachary, that's my name is Zachary. It's a great name. In November, Cassius Winston's younger brother, Zachary, died. He jumped in front of a train and took his life. And ever since then, Cassius Winston has been doing a really cool thing where he, this is hard for me. I'm trying. It's been real. I watched a video the other day of Cassius Winston doing a pregame handshake before the game. And he does it with nobody. It's just him. Nobody else is there. He does it into the air. And what's cool about that is this is the handshake that Cassius Winston did with his brother that they came up with in high school. And so Cassius Winston's brother died, took his own life. His younger brother died. And Cassius Winston has responded. He's playing good basketball. He's leading his team. He's been a humble leader. And I just, that story to me speaks to my heart. A couple months ago, lost his brother to be playing and headed to the, man, that's awesome. And so I don't know. February 8, 2016 was a day that my life changed a lot when my younger brother took his life. And so Cassius Winston out there, man, his story resonates with me, makes me want to cry. And I just think it's cool. I'm rooting for a guy who lost his brother to suicide. You're darn right I'm rooting for that. You're darn right I'm rooting for that guy to succeed. Cassius Winston has been through a lot. I know that journey. It's a very difficult journey to lose your brother to suicide. And so I find myself, that tough story resonates with me. I find myself rooting for Cassius Winston and the Michigan State basketball team headed into March Madness. I hope they succeed. I hope they're awesome. And that story just moves me a little. I was crying about it last night. It was hard I wrote it down in my notes. Like, this is hard to write. To say he does a handshake with nobody. That's where I lost it. I just was balling last night. And that story really resonates with me, and that's why I'm going to be rooting for Michigan State in the NCAA tournament. I don't even know if they're going to make it in. I have no idea. I literally haven't even checked the standings. I could be talking about Michigan State basketball, and they're like the bottom of the Big Ten. I don't think they are. They're regularly in the tournament, but I just assumed they're going, and if they are going, I'm in. I'm rooting for them. That's my team, and that's my team this year because that story just made me cry last night, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I talked about Cassius Winston and the pain of losing a brother. We're very close. This weekend we'll have February 8th again. February 8th, 2016, 4 years ago, my brother took his life, and it was heartbreaking. It's the worst thing I've ever been through. And I learned two really painful lessons from that experience. Number one is that my brother never shared his struggles. My brother never talked to anybody. My brother never told anybody he was having a hard time. One day I just came home, and he was dead on the floor. And that's painful and awful. And so I encourage you, if you're struggling, please go get help. Go talk to somebody. I'm encouraged because it's one of the media standards. If you talk about suicide, you're supposed to talk about the suicide hotline, which is 1-800-273-8255. The suicide hotline is 1-800-273-8255. Look, if you need to call a phone number, do it. If you can talk to somebody in your life, I recommend that. Talk to somebody you know. Talk to a guidance counselor at school. Talk to a teacher. Talk to your friend's parents. Talk to your parents. Talk to your friend. Go get help. And if one of your friends reaches out to you and says they're suicidal, don't just take that as a secret. Like, go make sure they get help too. Get professional help in that situation. It's above you. Go get professional help if you're struggling with suicide. You just don't want... I don't want people to leave the world. My brother left. I'll never talk to my brother ever again. If you're out there, I don't want you to do that. I want you to be here. I want you to be around. I want you to watch Star Wars with me. I want you to experience the Super Bowl next year. I want you to do cool stuff. Watch Survivor. It's a great show. Go watch Star Trek Discovery. It's fantastic. There's so many cool things the world has to offer, and I don't want you to miss out on that at all. And so if you're struggling, please go get help. Now, number two, the other painful lesson I learned from my brother's death is that I didn't do a good enough job reaching out to him and telling him how much he was loved, how much I cared about him, that I was there for him. I didn't do a good enough job making it clear to him that if he was having a hard time, he could reach out to me, he could talk to me. I was there for him. I saw him every single day. We talked about video games, movies, sports, and girls. We never really had a conversation with a lot more depth. And so I encourage you, Don't be afraid to have a conversation with more depth. Ask your friends how they are. Tell them you love them. Give them a hug. Make sure the people in your life know how much you care about them. Guys, my name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I love the show. I love the job I do. I'm so grateful for all your support. And thank you so much. Have a great day. And bam, we are done.